What's up guys, how's it going? Hope you're all doing good. So I know it's been a minute since my last video, but I don't know, I just needed a break. I didn't really feel like making videos lately, but oh well, we all go through that sometimes. And yeah, if my throat sounds kind of fucked up, it's because after 2 years I finally caught COVID, so that's great, but I still feel like shit, but I feel better than I did earlier in the week, so that's good. So yeah. You can tell by the title of this video, I'm gonna do my rundown of all the bands I saw at Maryland Deathfest and show some of the shit I bought too. So yeah, I'll explain what we're listening to once we get to that band, because what we're listening to is one of the bands I saw at MDF. So yeah, I figured that'd be appropriate to listen to one of the bands I saw at the festival. So let's do this. So day one, there was only the 3 stages. There was the Ram's Head sound stage and power plant. They didn't have the Edison lot, the big outside parking lot venue, until the next day, but that was where I spent most of the time the other 3 days. But I made a point of this festival to check out some bands I'm not familiar with. So day one, the first band I saw was at the Ram's Head. Yes, I'm looking at my computer so I can not forget who I saw. But day one, the first band I saw at the Ram's Head was War Mask. They were good, they just kind of didn't really fit the festival. They were more like stoner, doom rock type stuff. Not necessarily bad, just for like Maryland Deathfest, kind of didn't fit, but oh well. I'll put a picture of them too, they were good though. The next band I went to Soundstage to check out Malformity. Malformity are a death metal band from, I think Atlanta. I think Atlanta, Georgia, or at least someplace in Georgia, but they're one of those bands that they started out in the, I think the early 90s, put out a couple demos, broke up, got back together like almost 30 years later, and they finally put out their debut full-length last year, which I haven't, but if you like stuff in the more like mid-paced kind of fast stuff, maybe like Gutted mixed with Vomitory, if that sounds interesting, then definitely check out Malformity. They had one of the better sets of day one. And a lot of the bands either didn't have shirt designs, or the shirt I didn't like, or it wasn't in my size. So if I don't hold up a shirt, just assume I didn't buy anything. So all the bands who played, I bought a shirt. I'll show as I'm talking. So yeah. And then next band, went back to the Ram's Head and saw Yaoja. I had never heard of these guys, but like I said, I wanted to see some bands I wasn't familiar with. So Yaoja, apparently, according to Metal Archives, it says sludge / grindcore, which that maybe? Didn't really hear any grindcore or sludge. To me, it sounded kind of more like mid-paced death metal, but to each their own, I guess. So yeah, Yaoja were definitely a good surprise. I know they have 2 full lengths. I've checked out the, I think 2 full lengths. Yeah, so far I've only checked out the debut, but definitely promising from what I heard. I think they put a couple of the songs from that live, so they were definitely a good surprise. And then next I went to the back to the soundstage to see one of the bands I wanted to see the most, which was Mortarfium, so I bought this sweatshirt off of them. I'll put a picture of the back print. I didn't buy this, I bought this already, but I was looking forward to them because I was hoping they were going to play a bunch of stuff from the new record, because honestly, their debut, when it came out, didn't really do much for me, but I heard this, and this fucking kicked my ass. Definitely one of my favorite albums of last year. So definitely was glad to see them, and that gave me a new appreciation for the debut, because they played a bunch of stuff off of that. So definitely one of the better death doom bands of the last few years. Before War Mask played, I was looking for merch, and the only merch they had set up was like generic MDF stuff, so I did buy this though. Cool design. All the bands I played, except I think they still have Achilles, and Achilles pulled out for some reason, so I'm sure there's a couple bands on here that didn't actually play last second, but oh well, what you gonna do? Okay, then the next band I went back to Ram, said yeah, there was a lot going back and forth the first day. And I saw Retriever, so bought this cool shirt from them. Just the album cover. And then I didn't have the album, so I bought the record too. Or the full length also. from I think 93 and 94, so definitely I think one of those bands that only did this album and that's it. But if you like stuff like mid-era Broken Hope, but they're not as brutal as Broken Hope. I only say that because of like some of the guitar style, like, the riff structure kind of reminds me of Broken Hope, but they were definitely awesome. But I didn't catch the entire set because I wanted to go to the sound stage and catch this band, Skeletal Remains. The only shirts they had available was the Entombment of Chaos long sleeve, which I already had, but I wanted to buy something, so I bought this awesome beanie. They were definitely fantastic, as I knew they were going to be, because they were probably my favorite death metal band of the last decade. Either them or Go Ophelia, it's hard to decide, but they definitely did not disappoint. They played songs from every album, so that was awesome to hear. But I knew they were going to be great, so it's not surprising. Then the next band, I had some time to kill because I wanted to go to the Rams Head to see Acid Witch, so I went to the power plant to see Mortician, which, honestly, I'm not really a Mortician fan. They were okay. I saw like 2 or 3 songs. I'm like, this is kind of boring, so I went, got something to eat, and then got something to drink, ate my food, and walked into the Rams Head to see Acid Witch, and they were awesome. The only bummer is they didn't have any shirts, and I've seen their shirt designs online, and they have some of the coolest shirts I've seen, but for some reason they didn't bring any shirts with them. I don't know why, but oh well. Maybe they have some on, like some leftover Chewish shirts that they have online I didn't see, but hopefully, but yeah, so Acid Witch is definitely cool, like psychedelic death doom, that's all Halloween themed, so they were awesome. Then after they played, I went back to the sound stage and I caught Scattered Remnants. I wasn't familiar with them, but I checked out a little bit of them and they sounded promising, so I went to go see them and they really blew me away, so I bought this awesome shirt. I wish they had their only album, because I think they put out an album called Destined to Fail in 1998. Yeah, 98, and that's all they did full-length wise, and they played some of the songs from it, so yeah. Good kind of like brutal death metal stuff from New York, which is appropriate, because after them, the last band of that day was Pyrexia. They had a couple of the CDs for sale, which I wish I would have bought, because I don't have any of this stuff, but they definitely were great, but yeah. I'm honestly only super familiar with their debut Sermon of Mockery, but the other songs that they played were great, so I'll be checking out some of their other stuff too, so yeah. That was a good way to close out day 2 to see Pyrexia. Day 2 was the first day of the Edison lot, but before I went to the Edison lot, I went to the sound stage to see the grindcore band No Mass. Again, I wasn't familiar with them, but I want to check out some new stuff, and that was the only band playing before I went to go to the Edison lot. So I went to go check them out, and they were good, kind of like death grind, like maybe mid-era Napalm Death, like not mid-era, like the last one with Lee or like Utopia Banished kind of, but not as good, but they were still decent. But yeah, and unfortunately it wasn't all good, because I walked in the sound stage, I walked out, there were cop cars all around and like police tape. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Apparently there was a parking structure next to soundstage. Apparently someone climbed up it and fucking jumped off and killed themselves, so yeah, that wasn't pleasant. So I guess depression's a shitty thing, so that's a bummer. See, I don't know who the person was, but still, it's a bummer that someone decided to kill themselves, so that's never good. So after that, I went to Edison lot, and I think the first band I was waiting in line, and the band I was playing was Massacre. I thought it was Massacre, the one from Colombia, so I was kind of mad I didn't get to see them, but I found out it was the Floridian one, who I don't like as much. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So after them, by the time I got in, I was like buying merch and stuff, listening to their set. So after that, I ran over and I saw Atheist, which how Edison lot worked. There was 2 stages, one here, one here. They don't play at the same time, obviously, because they're so close, but which this band's playing, this band's setting up, so by the time this band is done, this band can go and play this set, and then by the time this band sets up and vice versa. That way they basically almost are like, that way you basically don't have to go without music for more than like 5 minutes. So that's a good way to have the festival set up. So good job, people at the Edison lot. I like it that way. I was hoping Atheist had some merch, but they didn't, unfortunately. But oh, what you gonna do? So Atheist definitely one of the better like technical death metal bands, though. Do I have the post? Yeah, definitely. They played a few songs from this one. I know they played the title track, and yeah, I think they played the title track, Unholy War, and I Deny. So that was awesome to hear 3 songs from that, and I think they played some songs from Unquestionable Presence and the other 2 full lengths. And Kelly said on stage, "We're gonna do a new album someday, I promise." So we'll see. The last record was 2010, so I'm not exactly holding my breath for it, but who knows. And then after they played, the next band was Monstrosity. Monstrosity, I'm not a huge fan of, but they did play my favorite song by them, which is the fucking Angel's Venom off of In Dark Purity, that's definitely their best record in my opinion. So yeah, they were good. It's kind of straightforward death metal from Florida, nothing original, but still good. And then after that was Suffocation, who I'd never seen Suffocation before, and I know they don't have Frank anymore, so honestly I was kind of skeptical if they were going to be good or not, but they were really awesome, luckily. So having Frank, being without Frank didn't make them less intense. They were still fantastic, so props to whoever the singer is. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any of their merch. Maybe they had some for sale, but I'm not sure why, but oh well. You can't buy everything, so. And it was raining really badly too, so the last 3 bands at the Edison lot were supposed to be Demolition Hammer, Obituary, and Carcass, but because of the weather, they said Demo Hammer was the last one, and they moved Obituary and Carcass to the power plant, which I wanted to see Obituary and Carcass more than Demo Hammer, so I got a ride back to the power plant, saw Obituary. It was raining like a motherfucker. The power plant's like is under like a covering. The front part's covered, the back isn't covered, so I was in the back, so I got completely drenched in rain, but it was worth it. They only played like 5 songs though, but maybe because they had to move last second, so that's why, but oh well. And then Carcass played. They were definitely the band I was looking forward to seeing the most in the festival, because that's the band that got me into death metal, so I'm glad I finally got to see Carcass. So you know I had to buy a shirt. Cool. Oh, it's like, obviously it's the heart from their last record, and the purple Tools is from the Tools of the Trade EP, which they did play the song Tools of the Trade, which is awesome to hear. And then the back, USA American Tour. They had another shirt I like better. It was like, I think it was like a yellow Symphonies of Sickness shirt with the same design on the back, but I wish I would have had that, but by the time I went to go buy it, they were out of my size, so I bought this instead. But just glad to have a shirt by them. So yeah, they were awesome. They played for like an hour. They played a good, I think they put some from, yeah, they played Genital Grinder, they played Exhumed to Consume, they played Hard Work, so they played songs from all eras, so no matter what album you like, they played a song from it. They also played Black Star off a Swan song for some reason. I don't know why they decided to do that, but whatever. And from the new record, they played Kelly's Meat Emporium and the really long, like almost 10-minute song, so that was cool to hear. I would have liked to hear a couple more songs from Symphonies, but oh well. They did play Exhumed to Consume, so that was awesome. So after they were done, I went to the Ram's Head, and I saw the Ruins of Beverath, too. For some reason, okay, the way it worked, every band that was playing the Ram's Head and Soundstage the day they were playing, that's where their merch was, but for some reason, the Ruins merch was at the Edison lot the next day. I'm not sure why. They just weren't selling at the Ram's Head, which I figured that out until the next day, but it's like, whatever. I didn't buy any of their merch, because honestly, their shirts were kind of not that cool, but whatever. They were definitely fantastic live, though. If you don't know Ruins, they're from Germany. It's like atmospheric black and doom, I guess would be a good way to describe their music, but they were definitely awesome. I only have one album by them so far. I think it's the Foulest Semen of the Shelter to Lead is the one I have. I definitely need to get the rest of the stuff, though. They were definitely a great band live. Alrighty, so day 3. I don't remember who opened the band, who opened day 3, but I went straight to Edison Law, and the first band I saw was Drawn and Quartered, so I didn't have any of this stuff, so I bought 3 of the CDs. We have The Extermination Reveille. I don't know what year these came out, so don't correct me. Return of the Black Death. And Proliferation of Disease. So these guys are from, I think, Seattle, and to me, they're basically like the West Coast version of Incantation. At least some of the riffs has that style, but I still think they have a little bit of their own flavor, but they still sound, if I had to compare them to someone, it definitely would be Incantation, but they don't have as many doomy moments as Incantation does. They're basically, at least these records are basically fast all the way through, so yeah. They were definitely awesome. I wish they had some better shows, but oh well, if you like Incantation, check that shit out. So after them, I saw Enforced, who put out one of the better thrash records of the last few years, last year. Killgrid, definitely one of the better thrash records, and they were super energetic and awesome live. So if you like stuff like like Power Trip mixed with Demolition Hammer, and that's basically what Enforced sounds like. Super high energetic, the pit was going crazy for those guys. They probably had the craziest pit, so yeah. Then after them, I saw Cerebral Raw, who were fucking disgusting sounding, and they were great. Again, another band I wish they had a shirt design that I liked, but or they didn't have one in general. I don't remember even seeing one, but oh well. Super nasty death metal from, I think, Seattle or Washington, but their first record to me sounds like early Autopsy, and the new record sounds like Broken Hope, so I'm going to be interested to see which direction they go in their next record, but they were definitely a band I definitely wanted to see, and I'm glad I saw them. So after that, I wanted to get something to eat, so I grabbed some food and sat down and listened to Implication, which I wasn't familiar with them, but it just says death metal, but to me they sound more like Black Death, like something like Angel Corpse, kind of in that vein, which I definitely like Angel Corpse more, but Implication were definitely a good surprise. I need to check out some more of this stuff. Oh, this fucking riff. Okay. So after them, I saw one of the bands. I forgot they were playing it, and I heard their music. I was buying merch. I heard them playing. I'm like, oh fuck. So I ran over. I didn't want to miss them. It was November's Doom. Definitely one of the best death doom bands from the States, if not in general. So they were fantastic live. They were... I was hard to pick a favorite band for that day, but they were definitely in my top 3 or 4. They were great. Especially Paul Kirk. He sounds fucking fantastic live. As much as I love their studio albums, they are probably better live, which is saying something, because a lot of the records are fantastic. So you could argue they're like the US My Dying Bride, but some of the stuff, some of the good stuff I may like better than some of My Dying Bride's best stuff, but that's just me. So after they were playing, it was Onslaught next, which Onslaught, I like their first 2 records, but I didn't really care to see them, so after November's Doom was playing, I went to go buy merch during Onslaught, but the thing with this venue is every band is loud enough, no matter where you are, you could hear them playing, so that's awesome. So if you wanted to hear a band, but you didn't mind missing them, you just want to go buy merch, you can still hear the band playing, so that was cool. So after that, I saw Cancer, who I'm only really familiar with their first 2 records, and apparently they played a couple new songs that haven't been released yet, but they were definitely promising sounding, so that was awesome. And they played my favorite 2 songs, but then they played Bloodbath and Cancer Fucking Cancer, so that was great to hear. Apparently they're only a 3-piece now. I think the main guy, apparently he fired the other 2 guys, so both guys have only been in the band this year, so not sure what happened, but oh well. I'm sure you know Cancer, definitely one of the more popular UK death metal bands from the early days. If you don't know them, What is the one? Most people will say the second album, but if you don't know Cancer, I suggest this one. Just listen to the songs Bloodbath and Cancer Fucking Cancer. And Die Die. Those are definitely my 3 favorite songs by them. But if you have to listen once, listen to the Cancer Fucking Cancer. That's definitely one of their... That's probably their best song. Yeah, they were awesome. So after them, I saw Coroner, which I like Coroner, but I'm not like as big a fan as most people are. They were great though, but I wish they would have played more songs from Punishment for Decadence, especially Skeleton in Your Closet. That's definitely my favorite song by them, but they were good. It's kind of like technical, progressive thrash, I guess. So after them, apparently it was supposed to be Triptychon, but they were late getting into the country because their flight was moved, so them and Autopsy switched spots, so Autopsy played next, and yeah, something interesting happened. I was watching Autopsy, but I wasn't near the pit. I was far enough back, so apparently during their sets, some dude decided to lie down in the middle of the pit, and some chick literally sat on his face and he started eating out her pussy, so in the middle of the pit, so there's that. It's kind of weird to do in the middle of a mosh pit, but oh well, it's kind of even odder because people like videotaping it. I'm like, you guys are fucking weird, but okay. I guess when you're horny and you gotta bang, but oh well. So yeah, there was that. I'm surprised nope, the guys in Autopsy somehow didn't see it, or maybe they weren't paying attention, because if Chris would have seen it, I'm sure he would have made a joke about it, but oh well. They were good, but my only problem was they were fucking loud, dude. It was kind of, honestly, it was unbearable at times. It was fucking insanely loud, but they were still good though. But yeah, another band I wish they had, well, they had merch, but it was only like generic merch. I didn't want to buy one that wasn't like Maryland Deathfest, or at least have the tour dates, but it was just like generic merch you can buy on their website, so there was no point buying any of it, but oh well. The next was Cavalier Conspiracy, who I normally wouldn't give 2 shits about seeing, honestly, but they were playing a special Beneath the Remains and the Rise Sepultura set, so obviously I wasn't alive when Sepultura was in their prime, you know, actually good. So this is the closest I'll ever get to seeing the classic Sepultura, but they were fucking awesome. Obviously, if you couldn't tell, that's probably my favorite thrash record of all time, so seeing like almost that entire record played was fucking amazing. And man, Ego still fucking has it on the drums, dude. He's still a beast, and dude's like in his, I think he's in his 50s or like late 40s, but man, he still has it on the drums. He was fucking great. Max has lost a little bit of his power, but he still sounds super fucking ferocious. I mean, they played like all the best songs, like fucking off of this. They played like Beneath the Remains, Inner Self, Mass Hypnosis, Primitive Future, then Arise. They played like the title track, Did Embryonic Cell, Desperate Cry, Infected Voice. And they played some other songs too, I can't remember, but... And then they closed out the set with... I think they played like the intro of Raining Blood and then Troops of Doom to close out the set, so that was awesome to hear that, so yes. Definitely, obviously seeing Sepultura in the prime, if I had to go back in time, I would see them on the Arise tour, but... that was close enough, and they were fucking fantastic. That destroyed my neck if Carcass didn't already. So after them, I honestly am not really a Triptychon fan, so I didn't really care about seeing them. So I'm glad Autopsy switched spots so I could leave later, because I really want to catch this next band at the power plant. But if Autopsy and Triptychon would have stayed the spots that they would have, I would have missed these guys. But I'm glad they switched so I could see the Kings of Brutal Death, in my opinion. Deeds of fucking flesh, man. They were awesome. And they're actually from my town, which my town is in the middle of nowhere, so I'm very proud that one of the best brutal death bands, probably my favorite from my town, so that's fucking awesome. Which I feel like an idiot, because the drummer was talking to someone, and I took a picture of a couple people I was talking to with the drummer, and I was wearing the shirt. I didn't realize it was him until he walked away like a few minutes later. I'm like, fuck, that was Mike, god damn it, you're an idiot. So, well, there was that. I wish they had some of those CDs for sale, but they didn't. They only had a couple shirts, and that was it. But that's definitely probably my favorite shirt I bought. But they were fucking fantastic, and they played a lot of songs from all eras. So, and they played Path of the Weakening, which was my favorite song by them. probably my favorite record. Either that or Inbreeding the Anthropology, but when it comes to them, their first 5 records, that is like the template of brutal death in my opinion. Because a good mixture of brutality and technicality, because when it comes to the brutal death stuff, I like the stuff that's slightly more technical opposed to the more like mid-pace stuff. So when it comes to brutal death, I tend to go for stuff like Deeds of Flesh and Aborted, so they were great. I just wish they had some of their fucking CDs for sale, but that's just me. Then next, I was exhausted, but I had to go see. I was fucking tired, so I went to my hotel, rest for a little bit, then walked back over to Ram's Head. I'm glad I did, because these guys were probably the best band that day. It was hard to pick up the best band, but I think these guys were the winners. So the next band I saw was Uada. That's what we're listening to. We're actually listening to Devoid of Light right now, which I bought all 3 of their full lengths. I'm not sure why. There's new like people, a bunch of people, it's kind of other people were like praising these guys a bunch when these first came out, and all of a sudden people shit on them for some reason. I'm not sure why that happened, but maybe they're just butthurt that, I don't know, maybe they're all field musicians are butthurt that they can't write albums as good as these two, but all 3 are good, but my favorite's probably the debut. I'm not going to say they got worse, but this record's good, just I don't think it has the same magic as the first 2, but it's not really saying much because the first 2 are fucking fantastic. Let me pull out the J code so you can see that. Yeah, I knew they were going to be good, but I was not surprised how fucking amazing they were going to be. Honestly, they were probably in my like top 3 or 4 bands of the entire festival. They were that damn good. They were amazing. So that's Devoid of Lights. That's what we're listening to. So put that back. And then we have this one called Cult of the Dying Sun. They had these on vinyl. I almost bought the vinyl, but I decided to save my wallet a few bucks and buy the tapes instead. But luckily, the tapes all sound fantastic. I've had that happen before. I buy some new tapes and they sound like shit, but luckily, whoever pressed the tapes did a good job and they actually know what they're doing. So all the tapes sound fantastic. And then we have the newest record from, I think last year, what's this one called? Dusion? My least favorite of the 3, but it's still at least like a 7.5 out of 10, so it's not really saying much because the other 2 were like both 9 out of 10, so it's still a great record. So fantastic US melodic black metal. So yeah, definitely one of the best bands of the entire festival, and I'll show you that shirt again better. Probably my favorite shirt I bought, either that or Deeds of Flesh one, but I love that design. I just wish it had something on the back, because the back's empty, but oh well. I'm not sure if they're doing a US tour right now, because they're from Washington, so they're not one of those bands who came all the way from Germany or whatever, so yeah. Then after them, I saw Necrophobic, who that's definitely a band I've been wanting to see a lot since I discovered them, so unfortunately, they only had one shirt design. It was just like a black and gray shirt of the last album. I'm like, guys, come on, you came from Germany, Sweden, you have one shirt, really, come on. But they were still fantastic though. They played for like, I think almost an hour. I think, yeah, them and Uada both played for about an hour, and they were definitely a great way to end day 3. But I was fucking beat by that day, because standing on your feet for like almost 12 hours, after a while, you're gonna be tired, no matter how tough you are. So yeah, Necrophobic was definitely a awesome way to end day 3. Day 4 came. I actually want to get some good sleep for once. So the first 2 bands I missed because I was still sleeping. I didn't get to the Edison Lot till like almost 2 because I actually wanted to sleep. But the first band I saw at Edison Lot was Nunslaughter, who I've known the name for a while, but I've never really checked them out, because if you see the discography on Metal Archives, it's pretty ridiculously insane, so I was kind of intimidating, but they won me over. They were definitely fantastic, so I bought this compilation. This is called Devil's Conjuries Volume 4, so cool double LP, both on the same color. And I know they played the song that made me want to buy this, that they played that won me over, was Smell the Burning Churches. So that's definitely one of the best songs I've heard so far. Since those said, I've checked out like 3 or 4 of their full lengths and a couple more of their compilations, but they've done a bunch of shit. They have like 50 splits, a bunch of EPs, so if you're one of those people that collects everything, good luck collecting all this stuff. That would be expensive, but oh well. They had a bunch of shirts, but I didn't really like any of them, but oh, I can buy some online. I know. I think some distro I saw has a bunch of these shirts for sale, so they have better ones anyway, so yeah. Next up, I saw Nocturnus AD. This was at the Edison lot, by the way, if I didn't say this. I think every band I saw, day 4 was at the Edison lot, except the last 2, but the Rams head, so I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, after Non-Slaughter, I saw Nocturnus AD, which, obviously, if you know, that's Mike Browning, ex-Morbid Angel. It's his band who put out, I think it was like, what was it, The Key, Threshold, and the third record, and they came back together. I think they're using AD for legal reasons, maybe. I'm not sure why they're saying AD, but oh well. They were good, but honestly, my problem with that band has always been Mike's vocals. They don't really fit the music, but it was still good. They're kind of like sci-fi-ish death metal. It's like if Morbid Angel used keyboards, which is appropriate because they ended their set with a Morbid Angel cover. They closed the song with God of Emptiness, which hearing the song with keyboards doesn't really fit, but oh well. And speaking of sci-fi, the next band was Blood Incantation. They were good, but they had a few sound problems, so that was kind of annoying, but oh well. I'm honestly not as big a fan of them as a lot of people seem to be, but they were still decent live, though, so they were... I enjoyed them live more than I thought I would. Then the next band was definitely one of the most anticipated bands for me. It was Demolic. This awesome shirt. And then on the back, USA Tour. And before they played, I saw Anthony Bowman walking around during the first day, so I know he's wanted to go see a bunch of the bands. So that was awesome to see him. So, man, this set was great. But what was better was, I think, the Anthony's jokes in between songs were hilarious. Like, yeah, guys, this is from the demo since Nespeth was too popular back in the day. That was funny. Or, hey guys, the first time we came to America, we were terrible, but we were drunk, so we're fucking finished. So what do you expect? Shit like that was pretty funny. Now, considering they only have like 2 main releases, well, technically on the compilation they have some unreleased stuff that they that didn't get put out until the compilation. So they played some of the couple of the songs from the comp, a couple from the demo, and a few from Nespeth. So that was awesome. So after that, I want to get some food, so I got some food, bought some more merch, walked down. They had like a big picnic table area, so I sat down and listened to Destruction, which luckily Destruction played mostly old stuff, so that was here. They played like a few from Infernal Overkill, a couple from Eternal Devastation. I think they played Release from Agony, nothing from Cracked Brain, and then they played a couple from Antichrist. They played, I think, Thrash Till Death and Nailed to the Cross, which is definitely the 2 best songs from that, and they played the title track from the new record, so that was awesome. And then after that, after Destruction, I saw Immolation. I'd never seen Immolation before. They were great, obviously. They were probably not my favorite band of the day, but they probably had the best sound-wise, so props to the guy who does their sound. They sounded fantastic. So they played a lot of stuff from their new record and from Atonement. Oddly, they only played 1 song for Dawn of Possession. I was hoping they would play a few more, and I don't think they put anything from Failures or Close or Here and After. I was hoping they would play like No Jesus, No Beast. I'm surprised they didn't, because they seem to usually when I've seen the videos online, but oh well. They were still great though, obviously. Then the next band was Triumph of Death, which is basically Tom G. Warrior and a few other guys playing Hellhammer songs, so I have a Hellhammer shirt, so I bought this one. Satanic Rites, Only Death is Real. So I love Hellhammer. I honestly like Hellhammer more than Celtic Frost or Triptychon, but maybe that's a minority opinion, but oh well. So obviously I wasn't alive when Hellhammer was like out there, so definitely it was awesome to hear a lot of those great songs played live. Then the next band was probably the band I was looking forward to the most, Day 4, Hypocrisy. Yours too, I know, was this the last day? Yeah, this is the second to last day of the tour was MDF. Then a couple days later they played some gig in Atlanta. Then I think they went overseas to play 3 more shows, and then they were done and they go back home. But it's kind of funny. Peter said, "Yeah, I heard you guys made the news the last day. Bunch of sick fucks. But I guess when you're horny, you need to have sex. You need to do it." Obviously referring to the autopsy thing, so that's pretty funny. But yeah. They played a few songs from the new record. They put a couple from like each era, so that was awesome. I was hoping they were gonna play more from Virus, because that's my favorite of the 2000 stuff. But they did play Warpath, so it was awesome to hear that. And from the Fourth Dimension, they played Mind Corruption. So yes, but I know they weren't gonna play it. But I was kind of hoping they would play Craving for Another Killing. That's probably my favorite song by them, but that's kind of a deeper track, so I knew they weren't going to play it, but a little part of me was hoping they would, but oh well. They were still fantastic, though. And they had if it was either them or Immolation, they definitely had probably one of the best sounds, so props to the sound guy for that. Then after that was Deicide. They were playing Legion in its entirety, so I was not missing that. They were probably the best band of Day 4, honestly. They were fucking insane. They sounded great. Glenn's kind of a grumpy old fuck, but he still can buck it out. He still sounds fantastic. And after Legion was over, their setlist after Legion was arguably better than them playing Legion, because they played like fucking, what was it, like Skulls of the Crucifix, Once Upon the Cross, When Satan Rules His World, Homage of Satan, Dead by Dawn, Cut Into the Temple of the Damned, and a couple other songs off the self-titled, but they were awesome. They played for like an hour and 15 minutes, so yes, I'd never seen Deicide before, and they definitely did not let me down. And again, the only shirts they had were like Legion shirts. I already have one, so oh well. Then I went to the Ram's Head. Actually, no, took the bus, because they had like a little travel bus you could do with the wristband, which I had, so I took the bus to the like drop off point, walked back to my hotel, dropped off my shit, chilled for a little bit, walked back to Ram's Head, because my hotel's on like a 3-minute walk, and then I saw Dark Fortress, who put out one of the best black metal records of the last 20 years, in my opinion, with this masterpiece, Tales from Eternal Dust, which I wasn't really familiar with anything after this, so I want to check them out, and they were definitely awesome live. So if you like, say, Dissection mixed with early demo, yes, they were definitely a great band. So then, last band to close out the festival, Sacramentum, playing Far Away from the Sun in its entirety, which, what the fuck is that? So, playing this record in its entirety, yes, that was a fantastic decision. They were amazing. I didn't see the last couple songs, though. I saw like them playing the whole album, and then the last couple songs I was beat. It was like fucking like 1:30. I had an early flight, so I'm like, oh, okay, I'm done. So I left and went to my hotel, then crashed and woke up with my train, and I got back, and yeah, then I got fucking COVID, so that's great. So yes, there is the show review. Now it's time to see all the shit I bought that wasn't bands who played at the festival. So let's do the CDs first. Because you know, that's not all I bought, come on. But the first 2 Malevolent Creation records, Retribution and the 10 Commandments. And I bought a t-shirt too, which I'll show the shirts later. But of these 2, both are great, but I prefer the 10 Commandments, honestly. Which I know people seem to prefer this one, but they're both great, but this one I think just more energetic. Like, it has some of their best songs, like Multiple Stab Wounds, Injected Suffering, Thou Shalt Kill. But this one also has, like, Systematic Execution, The Coldest Survive, No Flash Shall Be Spared, Ice, Mind Lock, but yeah. Great Floridian death metal from the early 90s. I think this is like 1990 and 92 or 91 and 93, so yeah. Awesome records. This one's more thrashy. This was more like straightforward death metal. So if you want something with a more thrashy edge, check out this one. But if you want something more straightforward, this one. And if you recognize one of the guys, I think it's him, but it's Rob Barrett from Cannibal Corpse. He played on this before joining Cannibal Corpse on The Bleeding, so that's rad. Then I got Darkness Death Squad, German thrash. To me, this sounds like if Creator and Dark Angel fucked. So take Pleasure to Kill and Darkness Descents, mix it together, and you get this. That was not as good as either of those records, but still a pretty solid thrash release from, I think, 86, yeah. And this has some, like, bonus tracks, so you can see the original album and the bonus tracks, which... This second record's good, too, but when I listen to it online, I don't know, maybe the CD's like that, but for some reason I could barely hear the guitar. All I could hear was, like, drums and vocals on that record, so... Maybe whoever did the upload on YouTube, they did a shitty copy, because you can't really hear what's going on in that record, but... Oh, well. So then I got 2 by Pathology, Age of Oncest, and just self-titled. Yeah, self-titled. When it comes to Brutal Death, I'm picky. These are definitely both really fun records. Of the two, I prefer this one, but yeah, both are good though. And I think both bands have the OG drummer of Casualty Habitation, but it makes sense why he left, because he wanted to go in a more brutal direction. But yeah, both are fun though, so yeah. If you like Brutal Death, Pathology is definitely one of the more well-known bands in that scene, and they're from San Diego too, so in my same state at least, so yeah. Pathology, Age of Oncest, and self-titled. If you want to check out one of these, I suggest this one instead of this one, but both are good though, so yeah. There's Pathology. Another classic I didn't own, but I'm glad I finally have it. Self-titled Rigor Mortis record from the mid, I think, 88. I prefer the Freaks EP, that's my favorite thing Rigor Mortis ever did, but that EP and their first 2 records are definitely essential, so yeah. It's good, aggressive thrash from Texas from the mid-80s, so yeah. Nothing original, but still a fun release. Okay, I got 2 records by Benighted. Obscene, Repressed, and Carnivore Sublime. Yes, if I'm not going into big detail, I have a lot of shit to show. I don't want this video to be overly long, so that's why I'm kind of not describing this shit as much as usual, but yeah. Good kind of like Brutal Death from, I think, Germany. Yeah. Kind of a little bit more technical, so definitely close to stuff like Aborted, which I definitely like a lot of Aborted stuff, so yeah. If you like something more technical like Aborted or Deeds of Flesh, you want something different though, check out some Benighted, so yeah. Of these 2, I prefer this one, but both are good, so yeah. Obscene, Repressed, and Carnivore Sublime. Both awesome. Then another classic I didn't have. Slaughter Strapato. Great death thrash from Canada. I think this came out in like 85, 86, 87, something like that, so yeah. Definitely one of the better death thrash records from the late 80s. Imperator, The Time Before Time. I'm not sure what else this band has. It's the only thing I'm familiar with by these guys. If they have anything else, then correct me. But these guys are from Poland, and to me this sounds sort of like the first Vader full-length and the demos. So if you like super early Vader and you want something kind of in the same vein, check this out. Perth Through Nuclear War Now, which they didn't have a booth, but there was a few distros selling stuff. Like, I'm surprised HH didn't have anything, but oh well. So the last 3 CDs, I'll show the records. So I got all 3 full-lengths by Melo Carpetan. Got I can't read the fucking title, so good luck. Nord Carpet something, I don't know. And then Ohin? fuck me, I don't know. See, I'm not sure where these guys are from, but they're good, like, I guess you could say, traditional metal influence black metal. So I'm taking influence from bands from the early 80s, like Omen, Iron Maiden, Fates Warning, with a black metal sound. So yeah, if you want something in the style of early 80s metal made by, like, if those early 80s metal bands made a black metal record, it would sound kind of like this. So yeah, definitely awesome. Of the three, I think this is my favorite of the three records, but all three are very solid. So yeah, Metal Capitan, awesome. Alright, look at the records I bought. Okay, we got Wicca by Mystifier, so it's definitely one of the records this is one of the records I always needed, but I always forget to buy it until I saw it in person. I'm like, oh fuck, I still need that, so yeah. Awesome. South American black metal from the early 90s. I believe this is their the first full length. I think it's this, Goetia, and the one with the super long album title. Put out through NWN. Nice gatefold. Anything, yeah, just in a sheet and a poster, just the album cover, so yeah. Not my favorite by them, that would be The World Is So Good That Who Made It Doesn't Live Here. I think it's definitely their best record, but still a solid one. And I bought a 7-inch tube, and check out the jacket, it's fucking hot in here. So the only 7-inch I bought was this Niflheim 7-inch. There's the front, back. Not my favorite release by them, that would be their debut, was a Devil's Force. Definitely one of the better black and thrash records. So yeah, it's kind of fun, black thrash from Sweden. Nothing original, but still fun. Okay, I got two albums of the same band. That's not from MDF, I'll show that later. Let me get the two by the same band. Alrighty, so I bought two albums by Deceased, Surreal Overdose, and As the Withering Travel On. So I bought these both from the same guy, and another record for only $50, and one of the records by itself goes for like 65. So thanks, guy, you didn't know what you have, but I'm not selling them anyway. So yeah, like I said, two from Deceased. I'm not super familiar with Deceased catalog, honestly, but of these two, I definitely prefer this one. But both aren't bad, but I think this one's more, like, not original, but like just better overall. So there's the front. The back. And I know Deceased, their early stuff was definitely more death metal influence, but this era, they were definitely a lot closer to thrash than their earlier death metal roots, but that's just me. Especially vocal wise, it sounds a lot more like just aggressive thrash than death metal. But this one's on a, I've never seen an album that has like two different colors, so there's the white and then the green, kind of. Yeah, I think this one came out like 2000, I think 2007, 2011. I don't remember which one came out first, but it's not important. So yeah, Deceased, Surreal Overdose, and As the Weird Travel On. So again, let's show this one. Front, back, in your sheet. Just on black? Yeah, it's just on black. Boring labels, so oh well, yeah. Awesome, I'll definitely be checking out some more Deceased. These are fun because I've heard the earlier stuff is generally more like highly praised than the newer stuff, but I'll get some of their early stuff eventually. So yeah, that's Deceased, The Weird Travel On, and Surreal Overdose. So, and this is the other record I bought from the same guy, which I'm happy he had because I've been wanting to get some of this stuff. This is Anthem Tightrope. I know it looks like a glam record, but this is basically like the Japanese version of Judas Priest. Especially, what's the one record? Fuck. Domestic Booty. I know it's a terrible album name. That basically is like their version of Painkiller. So yeah, there's the front, back, and I believe that was produced by the same guy who did Painkiller also. So this isn't one of my favorite records by them. That would be No, I kind of remember what the name is, but I think Gypsy Ways is probably their best record. But honestly, these guys don't have a bad record, but their peak is definitely their first initial run because they broke up for a while. So everything from their self-titled through domestic is definitely their high point in my opinion. But yeah, front, back. I think this is an OG press too. It was still in the shrink wrap, so it doesn't come with anything, just black vinyl. So yeah, I'm not gonna pull that out. But if you like Judas Priest, check out some Anthem. Great underrated band in my opinion. Not enough people mention them. So obviously, being there's a lot of bands, you're gonna miss something. This is the only band that I wanted to see. I'm mad I missed, but there was bands I wanted to see more. So I'll see them eventually because I think they're from the States. This Cadavic Incubator with Summons of the Drowning Dreads. So these guys are from, I think, Washington maybe. And to me, this sounds like if Autopsy decided to become a grindcore band. So I don't know, it'd be kind of odd, but this is some more like slower, kind of like grosser moments. But anyway, front, back. Put that through HH, I think. Yeah, HH put this one out, but I didn't buy it through HH. It was just some random dude selling records. I think I bought a shirt from him too. I'm not sure which one, but oh well. Better look at the front cover though. Just black. Yeah, black, simple labels. So if you want something, like, if you want basically like what Autopsy would be if they decide to make grind records, is a solid album and awesome band. I wish I would have seen this set, but oh well. It wasn't in the code this time, so maybe I'll see them in the future. Okay, here's another record that I should have had for a while, but better late than never. This is Holocausto with Campo de Extermino. So I know didn't people used to call them like sketchy because their name was Holocausto, but oh well, it's kind of a dumb reason to call people sketchy, but oh well. There's the front. Love that painting. Then the back, guys in the band. Cool picture. I believe this was the first album to ever be called war metal, but I know war metal has a different meaning than back then than it does nowadays. Cool pictures. Black vinyl, I'm not going to pull that out. This was put out through Gray Haze. I think it was Cogomelo originally because they're from Brazil, so that would make sense. So if you like stuff like the first Sepultura record, early Sarcophago, these guys are definitely one of the better bands from that scene. Alright, 3 more, then we're done. I think, yeah, 3 more, so. Mortem, Evil Dead, these guys are from Peru, I think. This is a demo, and to me, it's a good gateway. I think this has a lot in common with this album and a lot of the other Brazilian stuff. But anyway, there's the front. I love that painting. Back, kind of same picture, put out through Veins, Evil of Wrath Productions. I mean, my throat's fucked. Oh well. Just come with a poster. Yeah, poster. Just the album cover. Side Evil, Side Dead. Comes with a inner sheet. Just lyrics. So yeah. Again, if you like that Brazilian style stuff, you want something kind of slightly more death metal-y influenced, this is a awesome album. I think it's just a demo to check out, but yeah. I believe this was just put out on tape originally, but a few labels have done a vinyl repress since, so yeah. Mortem, Evil Dead. Then we have Season of Mist was there. This was the only thing I bought from them, I think. Hooded Menace with Ossuarium Silhouettes Unhallowed. I wish they had never crossed the decks. It's definitely their best record, but they don't have a bad record. This is definitely one of their better ones. So there's the front, back. And you should be familiar with Hooded Menace. They're definitely one of the better death doom bands. And honestly, if I had to pick a favorite death metal band from Finland, they I think would probably be my vote. They were fantastic, which, as much as I liked a lot of Finnish death metal from the early stuff, it's kind of odd because back in the day, a lot of the early bands, they had a great debut, and after their debut, they kind of changed style and like got kind of shitty or banned death metal altogether. But that's just me, so yeah. Hooded Menace, Ossuarium Silhouettes Unhallowed, not the best. I've been ever crossed the dead, but all of their full-lengths are definitely worth checking out. So this is the only blind buy I bought, but it was definitely a good decision. So this is Obsolete's Perversion with Scars of a Sick Man. I didn't know this band, but I like the artwork. There's only 20 bucks, so I decided fuck it. So definitely a good blind buy. I was hoping it wasn't Slam, but luckily for me it's just Brutal Death, so I like that a lot more than Slam, because Slam I kind of can't stand, but glad it wasn't like a bunch of pig squealing shit. Yeah. Definitely I would say a little bit more technical, but not quite. I wouldn't call like tech death, Brutal Death, but kind of like a little bit more on the more technical side of that spectrum, but still a good release. So I think this is the only full length. They have a couple of demos and EP, but I definitely need to check out the rest of the stuff. So yeah, awesome. Scars of a Sick Mind. So good blind buy. Alrighty, so that's all the music. So I got a couple more shirts to show when we're done. So I bought an awesome Funebre Children of the Scorn long sleeve. I have the album on vinyl, so it was cool to get this shirt because I love this artwork, and this album is definitely one of the better albums from the Finnish scene. Oops. You can never have too many Bull Throwers shirts, so I bought a Realm of Chaos t-shirt, so that was awesome. If it was for Victory, that would have made it better, because it's definitely their best record in my opinion, but again, all the records are amazing, so that's not really saying much, but yeah. Great to have that. My favorite record by this band, which might be a contentious opinion, but it's my opinion, so if you don't like it, too bad. Death Human, like I said, my favorite record by Death. This is a replica tour show, which I wasn't alive for that tour, so oh well, but still awesome to have that. Yeah. The Inhuman Tour of the World 91 to 92, so yeah. Awesome. Then, showed Mr. Fire earlier, I didn't have a shirt by them, so I bought the Goetia shirt. Definitely the best artwork in my opinion. Yeah. That rules. Then Malevolent Creation Retribution. If they had a 10 Commandments one on my size, I would have bought that instead, but oh well. This one's awesome too, so I had to get that. Then this isn't a metal shirt, but I like the design. This movie is awesome, so I figured fucking why not. The Exorcist. Love that picture. Nothing on the back, but oh well. Then my favorite record by this band, which might be another hot take, but oh well. Sodom Type in the Vein. Tour shirt, 1992. Again, I wasn't alive, obviously, but that would have been awesome to see them on this tour, to see them in general. So, Sodom, if anyone's listening, come to the States, you fucks. Sabotage, Hall of the Mountain King shirt. Definitely their best record. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of this stuff, but this record is definitely one of the best US metal records of the 80s for sure. Rest in peace, Chris Olivia. And then Grotesque. I've shown their EP before in the collection update, or the compilation rather. At the Gates, but I like these guys better than At the Gates, so that's just me. Yeah. Grotesque, Embrace of Evil. Say it. No, incantation, never mind. I forget what I just said, never mind, I'll listen. I didn't have a Cannibal Corpse shirt and I wanted one, so I got an Eaten Back to Life shirt. Oops. So that's awesome. Probably my second favorite behind the Bleeding. They didn't have any Bleeding shirts, so I didn't buy that one. And then the last shirt, and then we're done for today. Napalm Death. I didn't have Napalm Death shirt either. The World Keeps Turning. Say Campaign for Musical Destruction Europe 1992, so that's rad. Yeah. That's all the shit I bought, so what are we at? Oh, almost an hour. Oh boy, it's gonna be a long one, so yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go back to feeling like dog shit and drink some more crap, because my throat's fucking done now, so yeah. Not sure when I'll be back with another video, but we'll see. I'll probably, I don't know. No promises, but we'll see. Take care, guys. Peace out. Enjoy your day.